What's up, barbecue fans? Today on the patio, I'm answering the one question I've seen repeatedly over the last 3 years, and that is, can a pellet grill replace my traditional grill? Let's get into it. What's up, barbecue fans? My name is Jake, and today we're talking about using a pellet grill as a traditional grill, like to replace a gas grill or something like that. Lots of people, when they're looking at a pellet grill, they're wondering if you can just smoke and you've got this small sear area. Can you actually host a barbecue for your family with it? So today we're going to do that. As you can see, I've got some brand new grill grates here. Bought these last year, and I already have a set that you guys have seen me use before. I've got them in here upside down. First off, we're going to turn this guy on. And we are going to go 450. So as you can see in here already, I have a set of grill grates, and I have them upside down, so we've got the flat side. I do have the diffuser door out, but let's look at what we got going on here. And here I've got a brand new set. So if you haven't seen these before, one end has a channel and the other end has this curved piece. And what happens here is we kind of put them on an angle and we lock. All right, now it'll unlock very easily. And now we've got a set of grill grates. Now grill grates you can buy for any grill out there. They have a whole bunch of different options, not sponsored, but if you buy a Yoder, this is one of the accessories that I recommend you getting, because what happens is these are made out of aluminum and they can heat up super quick and they can get ridiculously hot. One of the things that turned me on to a Yoder 4 years ago is that I can set this to 600 degrees. These will get up to 800 degrees over top of that fire. Like, pellet grills don't traditionally do that, and I had one 15 years ago. I took it back after 3 weeks, and then I bought another brand, Traeger, and had 3 of those. No, 2. I went up to the Ironwood is my last one, but they just didn't get hot enough. The Yoder goes up to 600 degrees, and what we've got here, we're going right now, so I'm gonna get that set heated up. But you have a raised surface and you have a flat surface here, okay? These will give you a lot of different options when it comes to higher temperature grilling, and these are very, very popular in the, I can't remember the initials, SCA, state competitions, I don't know what it is. But it's the state competitions where they want perfect grill marks, and they cook up usually a ribeye and everyone eats the little cap there and you're going for the perfect steak. But they're very popular there. But on a pellet grill, they work great, and with a brand new set, we're gonna season these. It just so happens that my other ones are pretty clean. I haven't seasoned them in a little while, and I never season the back. So I'm gonna take advantage of that, and we're gonna do both of them. How do you season, we ask? This little friend here, this is a white onion, and what we're doing is we are gonna heat these guys up. I'm gonna throw these in here in a second, but we're gonna go over that hot surface and wipe on some onion juice. And this is a natural way of seasoning and making them non-stick. And you just kind of go over it once they get hot, and it'll add a little bit of flavor there, but this will help make them non-stick. So I'm probably gonna try and push down this edge a little bit there, see what I can do. I got a little bit of a bigger onion, but I'm gonna season the top part and I'm gonna season the bottom, because we're gonna use them both at the same time. And what we're gonna do here is we are going to use the entire grate surface with grill grates. And what's gonna happen here is we're actually gonna have a couple different zones. So let's talk about zones. You're gonna be able to set up a few different zones when it comes to setting your grill grates up and taking out the diffuser door. Now, before I forget, you can absolutely use the grill grates without that diffuser plate removed, and they will still get super hot. The pit probe is right here. When you're running open with that diffuser door, do not pay attention to the temperatures, because they're gonna go crazy high, because what Yoder assumes, you're grilling. You're not smoking. You're gonna be open and closing this non-stop, right? So it's gonna run a pretty big fire. The other thing you're gonna wanna have, this is one of my all-time favorite accessories. It is the half grate upper rack. And when we put this in here, we can put it in the back, right? Now it's a warming rack, and we still have access to the entire bottom area. One of the challenges, if you have the full standard rack up top, it's very difficult to get near the bottom. So this is super helpful to have. And now can perform a couple different functions, right? If we go back here, it's all warming. Now remember, this side's gonna be hotter because our deflector plate is open, but you guys have seen me sear stuff, especially chicken wings and pork from the top rack here. With that firebox open, this gets pretty hot, but it's a manageable hot, so it's not gonna sear or burn within like 30 seconds. Then, as we start to put these guys in, what I'm gonna do actually before I do that is I'm gonna slide these guys over. They are definitely good and hot. Give them a quick wipe down, and these guys we're gonna put in right here. There we go. Now I've got two different zones. What I want to do here is I want to heat these guys up, because now I'm going to take my onion. I'm going to get this out of here so I got full access. Take my onion and go over this guy here. See, that's getting all black. What's going to happen is it's going to release some oil there. It's going to give it a nice non-stick surface. Let these heat up a little bit more. I just want to get an extra coating of onion on them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that new side get up to temperature, and then we're going to give it a good season. I'm going to do the rest of it off camera. You've got the idea, but I'm probably just going to spend another 5 minutes making sure we've got a good coating of onion on both sides, and then I'm going to switch them around. Tongs are your friends, right? You can lift up, well, probably for this one, high heat gloves, right? I have these in my Amazon store. You can pick one up, slide one under, and put it over top. But we're gonna use the flat side over top of that firebox, because one of the things I'm gonna be cooking today is some burgers. So our grill grates are nice and seasoned up. We've been sitting for about 20 minutes or so while I got everything together. Now, quick note, with the Yoder, once you go to 450, Yoder assumes that you're going to be grilling, right? 450, 500, and it puts a lot more pellets in there. It's not gonna lock in the temperature the way it would traditionally on lower temperatures, and that's by design. We assume when we're grilling, we're open, we're flipping, we're looking, we're taking temperatures, right? So they wanna keep it hot. So just a quick note there, if you see this go to 600, especially during startup when that diffuser door is removed, that's normal, don't freak out, all right? So, one thing I'll tell you before we get too far here is we got two surfaces here, right? So get a shot here. We are 550 right there on our hot side, and our grill grate between 400 and 350. Now I just had this open, so they've come down a little bit. Before, maybe 5 minutes ago, that was like 425, just to give you an idea, and the left side was closer to 6. But just want to give you an idea. So what we're going to do here is we're going to prep some food. Now, I apologize. Whoa, hang on a second. Cheers. Let me just make some room here for the important guy. Now, I apologize. There's not going to be a lot of vegetables in this video. Now, I did get some corn, but I'm just trying to do like traditional barbecue. We've got some hamburger meat. This is vac packed here. If you watch my meatloaf 2.0 video, I made some brisket, short rib, and chuck, and I vac packed it all up. I made a whole bunch of it. Now, the one thing I'll tell you about that, when you do this, we've got no oxygen in here. So the color changed it a little bit. So if you get into doing that type of thing, don't be freaked out by the color. Perfectly normal. I'm gonna make some burgers here in a second. Let me get this out of the way. First, I'm gonna take some chicken, and let me get a glove on here so I can turn. Dun, dun, dun. Should have grabbed a fork, would have been a little easier. Anyhow, so on our chicken, I'm lying, I'm not gonna use that now. I changed my mind. I'm gonna use this Kettleman's Mexicano rub. If you guys like fajitas, this stuff is phenomenal. I use it all the time, weekly, in fact. If I don't have time to marinate them in a fajita mix, Sweetwater on @bbq.com has got another couple different fajita marinades, and they are phenomenal. Actually, speaking of which, I have not told too many people yet, but I have a brand new Rum and Cook 11 discount code for rubs, sauces, and seasonings at @bbq.com. Rum and Cook 11, I'll put it down below, save you 11% on everything. So that's good for the summer. So hooked you guys up at bbq.com. is helping me out, and you get all Kettleman's products there. But what I'm going to do is, this is a lot of food, right? There's only 2 of us, so now I'm going to make some chicken fajitas for later in the week. Give these a good healthy coating. But I love fajitas. Normally I do beef fajitas, but either way, beef or chicken, this Mexicano stuff is delicious. There, go off to the side there. We'll throw this on here. And I'm just gonna put these guys off to the side on our kind of hot side, but not so hot side. Put this guy, because it's super skinny in the back. We got one thing on there. The other thing we're gonna do is we got some corn on the cob here. So on this, you can see I cut off the tip, all the hairy stuff, and I just put these in water for a little while. That way they'll steam, and these guys are gonna go right up top. Here's some water dripping down there, that's fine. And while we're open, we might as well, I got some hot dogs and some sweet Italian sausages. We're gonna throw these guys on here as well. And essentially what I'm doing here is I know that my coldest spot is over here, right? So I'm putting my dogs, we're not in a rush, and I'm putting the smallest piece of chicken over there, and then the things are gonna cook a little, I want to cook a little quicker, we're putting them there. The corn doesn't really matter. All right, let's talk burgers. First we'll open up this guy. This is 1.5 pounds, just to give you an idea. Probably don't need those anymore. I've just got some finely chopped onions here. And then we've got, well, we need some fresh cracked pepper from our pepper cannon. I've got the smoked pepper in here because it's super, super tasty. This is Diamond Crystal Kosher salt. A little salt. What was that? It was garlic powder and some onion powder. I like to add a little bit of extras to my burger just to give it a little kick. Salt and pepper will do you if that's what you like. A little bit of W sauce, which I love on beef. I would almost drink this stuff. And that's really it. We're just gonna mix this up real quick. And just like that, like don't overwork a burger, right? I have a couple smoked burger videos. If you guys want to know how to make a good burger, I got you covered. I'll put a link up here, but I'll also put a thing at the end of the video and down in the description. But don't overwork it. And what I like to do here is I get a little cutting board covered in foil. It's 1.5 pounds, right? So, I mean, I like a 1/2 pound burger. Go big or go home. Gotta be close. That's a big burger. It might be a little bit more than half. Or maybe whoever made this burger mix didn't weigh that out properly. Let's see what happens here. Pretty good. This one I'll just give it a little quick mix in there. Make sure the edges are good. Now ideally, what I would do is throw these back in the fridge for 10 minutes just to let them set up. But we got stuff already on the grill. I am gonna use a little bit of oil on here. You will see a little bit of pellet ash come up when you got that door out, especially if it's going for a little while, just a little bit. And we're gonna throw these on the hot side so we can get a nice little crust on them. Almost melted the glove right away. That's hot. You know, I watch my videos once in a while, go back through them, and I say that's hot a lot. I don't know why. But so what we're gonna do is we're gonna let these guys go, and I'll bring you back in a little bit. But we've got some food on there. We have got lots of room, actually, real quick if you look at it. You got a good shot on that? I mean, we got a fair amount of food on there, and I could pack this guy up on the other side and be perfectly fine. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna get a crust on the outside of those burgers, and then I'm gonna start to move over some of the sausages and try and move everything along so that they cook relatively close to each other. Well, it's only been a few minutes. We already have to flip our burgers. As you can imagine, that surface is quite hot. Oh yeah. Some flame broiled action going there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get a little bit of a crust on the other side, and then I'm gonna move them over to the cool side. We'll start to move our sausages over and chicken to help push them along while the hamburgers cook off to the right. So here we are, we're all done. I decided to do a little bit of a montage for you because there was lots of flipping and moving around. I didn't want to bore you to death, but as you can see, we turned out a pile of food and we had a ton of room on the 640 left. I could have turned out twice this food easily. If you didn't notice, my one set of grill grates was brand new. So this is actually the first time I've done that. I have a whole bunch of other options, so it's rare that I do an entire cook with a barbecue on the Yoder, but I just proved it can be done, and I wanted to answer the question for you guys. The one thing to note real quick, on that one side where the grill grates are turned flat down, you got the flat top there, it cooks very, very quickly, even at 450. The chicken, I overcooked just a hair. I was shocked at how fast it cooked, so just be aware of that. Everything else turned out pretty darn good. Now you might notice I didn't put any cheese on the burgers. I don't like cheese on my burger. I don't know who's eating the other two. I think I'm probably gonna run over with my neighbor, because what am I gonna do with all this? And if he wants cheese on it, he can put cheese on it, but they're done. So I'm gonna have one right now. Go like so. Got some pickles. Man, I brought out way too many pickles. Good for me. And real quick, the corn on the cob does not take that long to cook at all, right? It steams 5-10 minutes tops. This is a monster burger. I got the smallest mouth in the world. My dentist hates me, and I just made a big ass burger. That's good. With that flat top on the one side, this is a big thick burger, but it has kind of that smash burger taste to it because we got a nice crust on the other side. It's actually pretty good. I'm gonna do a little bit more of that. But overall, I'm not gonna try it all, but as you can see, we knocked it out. And hopefully you learned something. If you wanna see that meatloaf video I was talking about where I ground up this burger, I'll put it right here. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you soon.